Kids Talk Show and 4TV. Thank you very much for watching Kids Talk Show and 4TV. My name is Nicole Blessing and I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for that. And I'd like you to know that this is all possible because of our sponsors, and one of them is Nyamata Collections, located at Malibo Road, opposite Raina Hotel. They deal in a lot, such as cultural attires, anything traditional you can think about, they have it. They are the right people for you. So now let's kick off this show, and we're going to start with Shuraim.
Yeah, the topic is how has the mode of education changed in primary section? Yeah, like to me, remember during my time where I was learning, we had baby, middle, no, excuse me, we had P1, P2, at P7. But nowadays, like as education has begun changing, people are learning different topics in classes. Like for example, in P1 you learn about a home. In P1 you learn about a family and a home, like that. Like they keep evolving.
Okay, thank you very much. Then moving on to Nicole.
Thank you very much, our dear host. During my time when I was still young, in like those classes of P1 and P2, we used to learn a subject called Runyoro Toro alongside all the other subjects, like literacy 1, literacy 2, English, mathematics. But nowadays I can see that not all the schools are learning Runyoro Toro in P1 and P2. But during my day, we used to learn Runyoro Toro, tell stories in Rutoro, sing songs in Rutoro, and all that.
Okay. Olmugamba mbu mwazinagana ebizina. You're telling us that, so kutwijucha. Can you remind us of any song that you used to sing in primary, one that you enjoyed the most? Because I also remember some songs from back from primary 1, primary 2, and actually we used to even sing them in primary 7. To abzinaga muno, like during lessons, to abzinaga, but maybe on your side it's different. Lapanosoba kutugambira, rundu kutuzinera yakazina kona. Omwalinyo babiri.
Yeah, like to me the song that was my favorite during like the primary level was Nkoko. Like it was.
You sing for us. You sing.
It was Nkoko, Nkoke nuzire, enuzire bas, bajilisa akaro.
Okay. Thank you very much. So what did you used to learn from those songs?
Yeah, like those songs, like they used to teach us how to live the natural life, like because they're saying like Nkoko Yaliwom said that, like as if it was kind of educating us on food, nutrition and like that.
So now Nkoko kuvira ogambire ebintu bihindukire. Ati, do you think that we are missing out something, or where we are moving on it is brighter?
No, yes, we are missing something, because the very reason is, if you talk to some people right now, like these people, like there's a certain school where they don't speak English, they don't speak Rutoro. But if I talk to a child outside the school, can't even say it's kopo, can't say it's kopo.
Okay, then Nicole, I think you have your own experiences.
Yeah. You had asked whether we are going to a good place or we are missing something. In my eyes, we are doing both, because we are leaving behind the culture of Toro. If we stop learning this Runyoro Toro and every other thing that we used to learn, we may not get enough time, since we are always in English and all those specificated languages. But if we learn them, we will still be getting our culture and the English that the teachers need to teach us. And also it is good because our country is getting modernized because of this. So it's both good and bad. We are leaving behind culture, but we need that culture, and we are being modernized, and we also need that modernization.
Okay.
So I think that it would be better to get some time to teach classes, or maybe some specific classes, the languages, their mother tongues, and other things related to their mother tongues and such.
You said, in your words, you said that we are getting modernized. But then I'm asking you a few questions. Why is it that in various health issues, let me give an example of COVID-19. Why is it that they go back to in most cases, they go back to the traditional ways in order to get the medicine? And my question is that as we are here, young children, if we are not being taught our cultural ways, do you think that in the future, okay, I don't wish for it to happen, but just in case there is a disease outbreak, and for us to get the medicine, we need to go back to our cultural ways in order to look for the medicine. Do you think we're going to get that medicine? Because our culture, slowly, it is getting phased out. So that's my question. Will we seriously be benefiting from that?
Well, in my eyes, it's not that it's in classes necessarily that we have to learn our culture ways and our mother tongues from classes. Our parents and relatives who may come from our villages, who have learned a lot, they could also be teaching us at home. So it's not necessarily that in class. So I think we would be able to get the medicine in case of a disease outbreak.
Okay. Then, to Shuraim, I would like to ask you that in terms of communication, nkoku tutamanyi rutoro, okatanga uno muntu atarasomera rujungu kankuni yomanyiro rutoro orujungu ruonka uwa manyiro rutoro, and you need serious help from that person. How would you communicate?
Yeah, like since technology is evolving, like you can also use technology, but still it's very difficult for a person, like if you're communicating to a person who didn't learn English, it's very hard. But if you learn Tutoro in your classes, in your lower classes, like you can easily communicate to them and get what you want.
But then what I was meaning is that you go, you're lost, yonko mwana obuzire, omahanda gwomuka gukubuzire. Okatanga no musaija, rundi omukazi. Okamukaguza. In English, excuse me, madam, I was going home, but then I'm lost. Could you be knowing my parents? All no ganaga kamke. Taguga mumbu. Iwol mukunjuma rundi.
Yeah, like most
Baza kurungi impuri. Bazurto. Tomanyurto. You can even end up getting abused from there.
Yeah.
So don't you think that would be developing some conflict?
Yeah, it can also lead to language barrier, even though you're of the same color, the same tribe, but it can easily lead to language barrier.
So now, do you see that as progress, or we are moving 2 steps backwards?
We're actually declining, not even moving. We're moving down.
We are moving down.
Yeah.
Okay. Then another question is that Nicole, you had said something about you had said something related to us getting modernized, and with getting modernized, you talked about how they could teach us at home. So I think it is related to informal education at home. Now, in the past, I believe it was there a lot, like with our parents, according to the education system. Rundi batwegeseza isomero. Mbatugambe nambu kara. Omwana omwisiki obwakoraga nke myaka 12. Mbakusindika mwaki. They send you to your aunt's place, your paternal aunt, right?
Yeah.
Paternal or maternal? Maybe both. You're sent norora nkokutukuburangana. We don't even know our culture right now. But I believe if the education system is involved, I know there are others like us. Actually, there are others who are worse than us. In the education system, they should try and educate us about our culture, because we are being disturbed. So back to the point, I was saying that earlier there was informal education. We were sent to our aunts, the girls, and the boys were sent to their uncles. So I believe you also know about that. So you can give us more light about it.
Yeah, it's that when a girl was to reach the age of 12 years, they were sent to any of their aunts, maternal or paternal, to be taught the ways of caring for a home, caring for children, and caring for the husband. They were being taught that early, but sometimes, as you know, in the past, there used to be informal education. Girls never used to go to school, so they used to stay home and learn about that. But nowadays, you find a girl at my age is going to school but has no clue about anything of how to take care of the home, not knowing how to peel matoke. So yes, we are declining, but as we are declining, we are still being taught. We should be taught in classes below, like P1, P2, P3 there. We should be taught some of our culture ways, so that by the time we grow up, we at least have some clue of what we do in our culture, how it goes, and all that.
Okay. Then Shrine, now on the boys' side, how would that informal education be helping us?
Yeah, the informal education would be helping most boys, like during that time, they were being taught how to hunt for food, because most of them were cultivators and also hunters. They are going into the wilderness to get food. They're also being taught on how to handle a home, how to protect a family during an attack or something.
Okay, now I have a few simple questions from both your statements. Yes. Nicole, as a girl child, I believe you've seen your fellows, right? Now, I would like to ask you, if you were left at home right now, your parents have gone somewhere, all your elder siblings, if you have some, are not around, you're left with a young child, or any of your younger siblings at home. You don't know how to cook, you don't know how to care for children, you don't even know how to bathe a child. How would you survive? Would you think that would be good?
No, in my eyes, it wouldn't be good at all, because both of you will end up suffering. Because you're young, you have no clue of what to do. The child you've been left home with will begin crying. And obviously, you'll have nothing to do since you weren't taught by either your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your relatives, or even at school. So you wouldn't have anything to do. If the child were to begin crying, you'd also begin crying because you have nothing to do.
Okay. Moving back on point, with the education system in primary 1, or moving on to primary level, if you remember well, when was the last time you learned about those, okay, all informal education or about your culture? Obuhangwa bwawe okamaliradi kusomaho umubira bwawe haisomero.
When you say at school, I last learned something about my culture when I was in primary 3, but when I was in primary 3, lockdown disturbed, so I never got lots of information from my primary 3.
Then you, Shireen?
Yeah, like to me, the last time when I was learning about my culture was when we held a cultural day at my former school, whereby we are enjoying, we are practicing different cultures, we are miming African songs. I also got to know other people's culture, and also learned how to appreciate them.
You also learned how to appreciate them. But then do you really think it's fair to stop a child from learning their culture? In primary 3, I think, in my assumption or estimating, a child in primary 3 would be like between 7 and 8 years old. Wouldn't that be? So, let me give an example. I am 12 right now. Do you think I would be remembering something from 7 years back? Or something of when I was 8 years? No. So that is another question there. And then, with that, and you can see we are suffering with our communication. That is one. It is affecting our communication systems. Then, even managing our homes. Nora sazuno abandi tibachaine engesu eze engesu nazo kuisomera isomero, because I believe, where do you spend most of your time? All of you, where do you spend most of your time?
Yeah, like to me, at first, when I was still learning, I'd spend most of my time, almost 90% of my time I'd spend at school.
Then you, Nicole, where do you spend most of your time?
Like Shrem has said, I would also spend most of my time at school because going to school early in the morning and coming back home late in the evening.
So now, do you think that between parents and teachers, who is playing the biggest role or the bigger role in a child's life?
In my point of view, it's teachers because as we have said, we spend most of our time at school and we spend most of our time with the teachers. So the teachers are the ones playing a bigger role in teaching us our cultural ways.
Yes. Then you, Shrem?
Yeah, like to me, I'm saying the ones who are contributing the biggest percentage are the teachers because the teachers are the ones like other parents. Because some parents nowadays don't even have time for their children. They buy for their children big phones. They buy for their children robots, everything like to do for themselves. But the child can spend about a week without seeing the parent, but only sees the parent during weekends.
Okay. The child only sees the parent during weekends. Actually, even some parents, they work even on the weekend. On a Sunday morning, you find in the morning the parent is not there. The next time to see the parent when he's coming back, after coming back, going to bed. That's the parent. And the child, by the time the parent comes, you're already asleep. So teachers are playing a very huge role in our lives. So teachers are in our education system. And I think our teachers, what do you think our teachers should do about this?
Yeah, like to our teachers, like should begin like forming culture clubs because nowadays they're more interested in environment clubs, in other clubs, but they're not interested in our own culture. Like they should start up cultural clubs. Like they should sponsor more events about culture, like at our school. Like they get a culture day one day. Like almost every culture, like if there's modeling, they model the children. If there is like it's a day for the children, like on how to learn their culture.
Okay. Then Nicole, what would you suggest the teachers should do?
In my point of view, the teachers, as Shrema said, teachers, not only teachers, but also the school administration, the directors of the school should now make culture clubs, bring culture wear. If you have about 7 different tribes in your school, bring culture wear for them to model out, give a chance to the children to show their culture, their culture dances, their culture wear, and even speak their language. Now, for example, now there are some schools, the teachers also use some cultural sayings in the children's mother tongues so they can understand and give them a chance to also be open to their culture.
Okay. So they should give us a chance to be open to our culture. Now, moving on to my next question. My next question is that parents, when they're at home, even for them, they play a very big role in the education system because they are the ones who support the teachers, and teachers support the parents in disciplining their children. Now, teachers, they play a big role in our discipline, and in culture, there is a way they discipline us. In primary 1, 2, and 3, that's why you said you stopped learning our culture, right? Did you learn anything about behavior?
Yeah, we were learning. We had some lessons about behavior whereby our teachers could draw pictures on the chalkboard. Like, for example, a girl is not supposed to sit on cooking stones. She's not supposed to cook while sitting poorly and all that. They used to teach us. We used to have fun in classes. But nowadays, in the upper classes, you learn nothing about your culture.
Okay. And do you think that is the reason, Shrem, do you think that's the reason as to why there is increased delinquency among the children? Or, enye twazembi mubana abato, do you think that's the same as delinquency? Do you think it is the main reason as to why delinquency is at a rise?
Yeah, like it's the very reason why most delinquencies are rising because a child doesn't let's take it to sexual immoralities. Children during those times were taught like you're supposed to do this with that. But then our children, like, without learning about anything, they begin practicing, like, let's say, like, homosexual, masturbation, such things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then, leaving that behind, another thing is that earlier, what do you think? What did they used to teach you? Like, what do you know? Mbono mwana aseme kwetu azat kuiha hekyo. Omwana aseme kwetu azat. Omwana uboja aseme kwetu azat. Okay, what you know about yourself, Shuraim, you as Shuraim, ekyo ye manyereho, nseme kwetu azanta, nkumojo.
Yeah, like us, like during those times, they're supposed to teach boys like us, like kuhiga sorrow, like protect the family, like how to act in a community, because there are some like everywhere there's a bad person, there's also a good person.
Now,
so,
yeah,
like,
Shuraim, you said that they used to teach us hunting and all that, but I don't think that was in our primary section, right?
Yeah.
Now, with hunting, they used to tell us those stories of long ago, like you can even see I'm struggling to remember stories here. I'm struggling to remember the stories.
The legend of Jupiter and the Bongo.
Okay, but then they used to teach us stories about Wakame, Warugo, and all that. Then Waizitia and all that. Then I remember my favorite, the one where there is this part of Kisaukiange Zinantakuli. Whereby there was it a girl or boy?
It was a boy.
It was, okay, a child was put in a bag, and the beast could always keep threatening that if you don't sing for me, I will eat you. So obviously there is a value that was being taught in that story. Can you remember any of those values which were in those stories?
Yeah, like to me, like most of the values that I could learn in those stories was to be faithful, like to always stay in the right path, not go to the wrong path. Okay,
then Nicole?
According to what you've said, and in those stories, yeah, I used to learn, like, for example, I can't give a specific story, but there was some story that I'm not remembering well, that you used to learn a lesson not to walk alone at night. Yeah, not walking alone at night, most especially girls, and also boys, but when they are still in their young age, and also to always be faithful, and also to ask for permission before using someone's item.
Yeah. So when you ask permission to use someone's item, what does it prevent? What does it help us in? And do you think what we would have attained from asking is what we are receiving right now, since we are not being taught? So please elaborate more. Yongeraho oyongezeho ekyo tugambire.
Yes, I talked about asking for permission before using someone else's things. That can prevent quarrels and fights amongst children. Because if I were to take your, let's say your pencil, and then I use it and it breaks, the lid breaks, would you be happy with me? I did not ask for permission. I just used your item and then I ended up breaking it. So it would be, if we were not told these stories, we would not know that. Since we are not being taught at this age, we would not know that, and we would end up in quarrels and fights, and they would even lead to lifelong, should I say, wars between two friends.
Yeah, so it can lead to disturbances within relationships. So nkaho batwegesa ngo kutusemei kwetwaza mbu kakuba noende ekintu obanza okisabe nuko kitunge kakuba noende obuyambi obusabe mukika kyokuchuleraho okatuntura weno liaho. So we should be taught our culture, and it should be longer, meaning that if you are to start from primary 1, end it at primary 7. If you're to start at primary, at primary 1, even it can continue up to university, because culture has a lot of values. And my friends, you know the values of culture, right? You can tell us some.
Well, culture helps in promoting good behavior, because if I have my culture and I respect it. I will be well behaved since they have taught me the rules that I have to follow as a girl, as a boy, what I have to do, what I don't have to do, the rules I have to follow and all that. So it can help us in maintaining good behavior in children.
Then Shirine?
Yeah, like to me, like there's a slogan that's saying that my culture, my identity, like it can help me to identify myself amongst all the people. Like you find yourself like you get learned your totems, like your tribe, your clan, like who's the leader, because if you ask nowadays here in Toro, who is the king of Toro, like doesn't know.
Okay. Then members and our viewers will be right back after this wonderful short break. Thank you for being with us. We'll be right back.
Kasinema nibaturora radio nibatuhura tukaruga Toro yo muri mutabakayo banyesere Titan Uganda mzine nzaro ya Toro ola Western Connect with Swabri Kiss and Praise 4TV wataruga Kasinema nibaturora radio nibatuhura tukaruga Toro.
Fort TV, stay entertained. Fort TV, stay entertained.
Adier kogere ha Fort TV butosa ngira programu y'ekyoto enganzi yabona abantu bona bagitaga muno ekyoto kitandika saa 10 kugarukira 12 kichweka ezarwe bajyo kandi abose turaliza abose babuli mulingo kwiza kwota naitwe nuko tusobole kwega kumanya kwetegereza engeso emtwalize ya Toro neha.
Sima wakoshal ha Fort TV ni nyodona kali nkora program enu ya Street Talk nebaga bulicha mukaga kutandika siku ni paka saa emu na betukwizana bichweka byao niyo tulindo bubibona ne Twitter number roll Street Talk.
Fort TV, stay entertained.
Real and proper Mr. Ben Ganta, and you're locked into Western Connect every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. And you're with Fabric Kiss. You don't know you go. Gun talking a bill, no bag a long talking at this. Straight.
Fort TV, stay entertained. Fort TV, stay entertained.
Okay, welcome back to the 4TV Kids Talk Show, and my name is Imbogo ELVIS Kateba once again, and I really would like to thank most of our viewers for coming here, so for viewing us online on very many different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and very many others. And first I'd like to read one's message. Thank you for the program Avana. Just know, also I was the first to watch. No one should ever lie to you that they were here. They were where? The first. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we really had your message. Then I would like to also thank our sponsors once again, where there is Nyamata Collections, Nyaika Hotel, Fort TV, Steadfast Garments, Karugutu Sako, Nyamata Collections, where most of them, like Nyamata Collections, deal in cultural wares, and Steadfast deals in making uniforms for very many different schools. Now back to the show, where we ended our topic, and our topic was about how the education system has changed within the primary section. And we were at a point whereby we were discussing all the cultural things that we're missing out right now. And I would like Shuraim to continue singing for us his wonderful song.
Yeah, like the song, I have a very bad voice.
No problem, you sing.
Okay, like it was Enkoko kenuzire enuzire bachisa akaro karibo musaita omusaita mbamweta.
Shuraim. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Then I believe you also have some songs for us.
I'm only going to sing one. Tukageno mukisaka chichi twabonayo bwacho chichi nibubo ya kurungi chichi twatwaraho bubiri chichi twabuheza mama chichi yabukunda munonga.
So I believe you can hear, even just hearing the song, you feel so attracted, you feel so good. I wonder how you're feeling there, our viewer. Because just hearing these songs, I feel happy. I'm very happy hearing those songs. And I'm wondering, why are we missing out so much? I'm just wondering so much. Aren't you wondering the same? So then there are other things that we use to promote our culture, and they are not being taught. I remember even I'm still young, but when we were younger, ntukoicha kandi ntuganicha. So my fellows, alo ino organicho ruona. Organicho. Rundi orabota in organicho te chikoicho.
Kwai.
Rukweve.
Ino mwananga gira uhele wingi. Awake.
Fede.
It's correct.
So you see, ebikoicho, they help us to think, reason. Okay. Inotekereza ke chukora kinu. Hakuwa no nyombe intakimanye beitu keki kusana nke kino obuhere. Which one? What do you eat and you find it's like it has a whole rush? Terfen.
Yes.
So they educate us on things. Then do you have another one?
Yeah, there is Jura Munkulie.
Let me see. Nicole, you be also participating. What do you think? Should I say it? What I think?
Orange.
An orange.
No.
Okay. Me what I think? A kienjo.
Yeah, it's correct. It's a banana.
It's a banana. Hakuba kuija kulia kienjo. Oina kubanza kisusule. Tukulino kwa kujuramu.
Yes.
So juramu nkuli. Eki kienjo. Then with all that, we used to learn values from Enganichu. And with those values, they help us in life. Others teach us to be faithful, to think ahead of the other. Because of Agambera Wakami, yes?
Not forgetting that we also used to have fun like we have done here.
Like we have had here. Weren't you happy seeing us laughing? And we are also happy here because of our culture. Man, I just enjoy our culture. This is the culture of Toro. Enjoyable for all. Then, as I was saying, we learn a lot of values. Ninyijuka yaluhenganiche za Wakame ni za Waruga, as I had said earlier. Wakame kakaba kasoro kaina magezi maingi. Hakuwa na hati kakuja kakwata rutaru. Aka Wakame. Then, in the past, Bagamba Gambo, the rabbit or the hare, there was a time, okay, it had its friend, which was Warugo, right? Then it used to interact with its friend, and it ended up outsmarting the friends a lot and ending up annoying them. So we used to learn, if you're with your friend, which mistakes aren't you supposed to make, or which could put your friendship at a risk. Then with another thing, reasoning, thinking and all that. Akuba namara kwegesa ekiganyo rundo rukoichu na kaguza kinu nogera nkibe nkimanyisake rundi kinu owe ninkibazao. Which other questions can you ask from there? There are very many, and they teach you how to reason a lot. Yes. I remember this year PLO, it was all about reasoning. So if you don't have that background from your culture, if you don't have that background from that education or the informal education, would you really attempt to do such a paper? So that is one. There is reasoning and all that. I believe you can tell me any other values you know, because there are a lot, and I would like to listen to your opinions desperately.
Yeah, like to me, to my point of view is that like the purely that as the host has already said that it was all about reasoning, but also our teachers were telling us that you also have to refer, like you read a question, which nocturnal. No, let's continue a simpler question. Give to agents of soil erosion. Like you have to translate it to your mother language, which because if you had not learned it, then how could you translate it? So you have to translate it and get the answer.
So now, Nicole, do you meet such encounters whereby you really need to apply your culture in everyday life?
Yeah. For example, our teacher, during English lessons, when we meet some difficult questions that we can't answer, he always tells us to reason in our mother tongue. For example, a question like, he sweeps the compound every day. Then they tell you to begin the compound. Of course, there you have to reason using your mother tongue. Then we found it, after using our mother tongue, we found it much easier to answer the questions. And after that, everyone started passing such questions.
Now, I would like to ask one simple question. Do all of us know what a compound is in Rutoro? Because I know I'm not there. Me, I'm not there. Who knows what a compound is in Rutoro? See, this is what we're missing out. So please, teachers, where are you? We need to learn our culture. What is it?
It is ezigati.
Eh?
Ezigati.
Ezigati. So I had forgotten that. No, I know many of you must be laughing right now, but really we need our culture desperately. We need our culture because one, besides all that, even economically, our culture can help us. Shraim, didn't our teachers still teach us on how our culture will help us economically? Yeah,
like it can help us economically. Like the tourism industry is also working in with the craft industry. So like we Africans can make our very own designs and cultures. Like we make portraits of animals, like with our own natural materials. We can make pots, we can make beads. And when the tourists come, like they become interested. They say we want to buy. After buying, like they see that very nice. They say we'll be taking them in stocks. So that they'll be like all over the world. Like they'll be taking them.
So they'll be all over the world. Nicole, please.
Yeah, our culture can also help us, like as he has said, in trading. If I can make my pots, I make small craft sculptures of like women and men in traditional wear. Won't the foreigners be interested in buying them and decorating the houses? Yeah.
Then even you can see there are very few cultures which have ezine mpako, and even that's why most tourists are coming to Toro, because we are very, very unique. Ito abatoro, we are unique. Neyo Mtoro, even you the listener there, oine kimanya, nyonde mutoro, so you have that pride of your culture. And lastly, I would like to ask you guys, what do you think should be done in order like to revive our culture, in order to like bring it back in the education system of primary? What do you think should be done?
So yeah, like in my point of view, the school directors and the teachers should make sure that children learn their culture in more classes than in the past. Like they could teach Rinyoro Toro, since we're in Toro, Rinyoro Toro from P1 up to like primary 7 or something like that. They should make sure that children should get the cultural values that they need. They should be teaching us our mother tongue, like giving us some clips or like showing us our traditional wares and all sorts of that. But the whole point is on teaching children longer about their culture.
Yes. Then when I try to remember, I remember one day our teacher told us that there was an Indian boy at our school. When they used to do exams for Toro, they used to even do them up to primary 7. The boy used to get only 90s. You see, an Indian getting 90s, and you Mutoro, you're in 60. Because I remember in primary 3, of all subjects, I got 48% in Rutoro. Imagine, I am a Mutoro, but I have 48% in Rutoro. So what is that? Then, Shrine, what do you think should be done to revive our Toro in the primary section?
Yeah, like to us, they should be giving us enough time for visiting our grandparents, like the ones who will be visiting around the fireplace, telling us stories about those things, and we also get to learn. And also, we should also get to hold cultural events, not like all the time you're bedding, you're in books. You should get more lessons about your culture. You should get to talk about where you came from, how you have been evolving. Not only that, like you should also begin starting up cultural days, cultural sports, if you find a person knows football but doesn't know how to play akagogo, like it's very embarrassing.
Yeah, that would be very embarrassing. So I'd like to thank you viewers a lot, and as I conclude, I'd like to inform you of the Media Club graduation, which will be taking place on 10th December at Nyaika Hotel. And I would like to thank the parents out there who are supporting us here at the Kidz Talk Show. And with all that, I would like to allow my fellows here to give their last regards to all the viewers. If you'd like to greet someone or abanoenda kwaramucha, you can do so with this time.
Thank you very much, our dear host, and I would like to send my regards to our trainer, Mr. Richard, and also the producer, Mandy Oscar, and also my parents who have helped me and supported me to come here.
Okay.
Yeah, like to me, I'm greeting whoever is in my village, my friends, my OBs and my OGs, my parents, my mother, Panja Bonavana Mariam, and also almost like everyone like who has been supporting me. Come here.
Thank you. I'd also like to give a few regards to my parents, the whole staff of 4TV, and all those who have made it possible for me to be here. And not forgetting our sponsors, I once again thank you very much. And you are here on 4TV. Stay entertained, because this is the home of entertainment. Thank you very much for bearing with us throughout this time. See you soon. I don't know when, but I'll be there.
4TV, stay entertained.